Each of us are great fans of the Street Fighter franchise. We as a community love and cherish the arts and characters that Street Fighter give us. The variety of characters make us pick our favorites for battle. We might know their moves and their style of play, but do we know their background story? In this episode, we're going to focus on the story of Ryu. What is his background and where is he now? You might be in for a surprise. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighterverse. Ryu was orphaned when he was a young child and has no memory of his parents or whether they are alive. He was found and adopted by a man named Goken, who raised Ryu in his secluded dojo and trained Ryu in the ways of his martial arts. Sometime afterwards, Goken would later train his best friend's spoiled son, Ken Masters. Ken served not only as a sparring partner, but also gave Ryu a friend in the form of a boy of his own age. Ryu looked up to Goken as a father figure and regards Ken as his best friend and surrogate brother, a relationship which remains to this day. When Ryu turned 23 years old, Goken believed that Ryu was ready to travel the world in order to test and hone his martial skills against the best fighters from around the world. After Ryu and Ken's training was complete, Ken casually asks Ryu which of the two will be recognized as a reputable martial artist first. While Ken goes to the USA, Ryu enters the World Warrior Tournament and travels to Thailand alone in order to face Sagat, the Emperor of Muay Thai, which is said to be the strongest martial art, the first World Warrior Tournament. In Street Fighter 1, Ryu is one of the participants of the World Warrior Tournament. After defeating all of the challengers, he knew he couldn't just challenge Sagat as an unknown fighter, so Ryu created a plan to put Sagat in a situation where he can't refuse his challenge. Sagat heard Ryu and his fighting spirit burned. He told Ryu that he'll show him real Muay Thai, and the two would clash. Ryu, however, defeats Sagat with a nearly fatal Shoryuken that not only knocks Sagat unconscious, but also marks his chest with a great scar. After regaining consciousness and discovering what had happened, Sagat swears vengeance on Ryu. In the Street Fighter Alpha series, Ryu, after becoming the strongest fighter in the world, encounters and fights Akuma on a secluded island known as Gogento, and wins. However, Akuma was only testing him and senses that Ryu has the same powers as he does. He proceeds to tell Ryu about the Satsui no Hado, a power that consumes the practitioners of their shared fighting style, driving them to win, even when it means killing the opponent. Akuma then uses his fist to smash the island, leaving Ryu stranded. Sometime after escaping the island, Ken finds Ryu. He asks Ken what it means to be a true fighter. He wonders if he should use the same fist he used to defeat Sagat, or the one Akuma uses to murder people. Ken sees that Ryu's has gone back to his usual bad habit of overthinking things and fights him as an attempt to wake him up. After defeating Ryu, Ken realizes that he has been deeply troubled since his last victory over Sagat. He reminds Ryu to keep fighting in order to find the answers, and gives him his red hairband, and that whenever he feels lost, he should use it as a reminder of their fight and to keep fighting to find the answer. Ryu happily takes the headband, and they both go their separate ways. Soon thereafter, a fan of his, named Sakura, comes up and expresses her desire to train under him. Ryu replies that he himself still has much to learn about, but allows Sakura to take a picture of him for now. At some point, Ryu is found by Sagat, who is out for a grudge match. Ryu protests that Sagat hasn't fully recovered from their last bout, but Sagat persists. Ryu lets Sagat win, rather than do any further damage, and Sagat leaves. Only later, upon reflection, does Sagat realize that Ryu held back, vowing to fight him again. Ryu continues to be troubled by what Akuma had told him, compounded by his encounter with Rose, who has intricate ties to M. Bison. She tells him that he cannot defeat Bison unless he fights him at the cost of his soul. True to form, when Ryu confronts Bison, he is defeated despite putting up a valiant fight. Bison takes the semi-conscious Ryu and begins brainwashing him, using the revelation that the Satsui no Hado is akin to Bison's own psycho power. This scene is interrupted by the entrance of Sagat, Ken, and Sakura. While Ken and Sakura distract Bison, Sagat fights to brainwash Ryu, quickly noticing the effects Bison's brainwashing has had on him. At Sagat's urging, Ryu comes to his senses to confront and defeat Bison, destroying him temporarily. In Street Fighter 2, during the World Warrior Tournament, Ryu enters to test his skills and defeats many of the new warriors. He encourages Ken to re-enter as well, It is said, it is unknown how far Ryu himself progressed in the tournament. It is also said that Ryu, avoiding Bison's flaming remnants after his body was destroyed by Akuma, hinting that Ryu made it to the finals. In Street Fighter IV, after the second World Warrior tournament, Ryu continued his journey and ended up in an isolated desert where he trained. Ryu then remembers his argument with Akuma, with Akuma urging Ryu to give into the Dark Hado, or else he will kill him. Ryu then leaves the desert and goes to a bar where he meets a biker. The biker then tells him a story about an American martial arts champion who abandoned his family. Believing it to be Ken, Ryu visits the house of the said champion, but it's ambushed by Sea Viper. Suddenly, the Delta Red agent Cammy then attempts to ambush Sea Viper. However, Cammy was also no match for Viper, and Viper then tortures Cammy, which the Dark Hado then takes over Ryu and engages Sea Viper, but would easily defeat her. Luckily for Viper, she manages to escape the possessed Ryu. Angered, Ryu then slaughters multiple SIN scientists who witnessed the fight until Ken and Sakura arrive to save Ryu and help Cammy. Sakura would then retain the possessed Ryu, as Ken calls the hospital to help Cammy. Ryu would then regain his consciousness and realize what he has done. After being sent to Ken's mansion, Ryu realizes he has been targeted by SIN and its leader Seth for their evil plans. With Gauss's plans to infiltrate Seth's cruise ship to incarcerate him, Ryu then tags along, knowing that Seth would be waiting for him. After traveling to the base, Ryu and Ken then dispatch multiple SIN thugs before Ryu encounters Seth himself. Ryu and Seth then engage, with Seth easily overpowering Ryu and giving him his twisted philosophy of power. Ryu then admits that he never understood what power is, and that he understands Seth's philosophy by stating that the power he describes is not what he's after. Seth, unamused, continues beating up Ryu before Ryu awakens a new power and nearly kills Seth with it. Ryu then collapses from this power. A few days later, Ryu and Ken then part ways, with Ryu stating that they will meet again. This is part 1 of Ryu's Street Fighter story. Be on the lookout for the second part of the Street Fighter's favorite character. What did you like about Ryu's story? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the center stage. Our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of the Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel, because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.